Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's been a long time for me. It's been probably 2 or 3 days since I last played this game. It's been really hard to get back to this, even though we know that we're kind of near the end. I've probably started nearly a third of every episode in this series saying it's been a long time, it's been hard to get back to this game, and it really is. As kind of a coincidence, we're playing here with the Desmond skin. It's kind of worth mentioning that I've been just kind of coincidentally pushed towards the... well, I've managed to go and look at some of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood content that I created. Wow, that lady just nearly fell and decided to jump, then decided to jump down. Just kill that guy. I don't even know if I'm actually don't even have any Templar awareness right now, so that's kind of pointless to have done that. And in the process, see, I caught that guy because I jumped downward. In the process of just accidentally looking at the Brotherhood stuff, every time I see that content, every time I see any random scene from Brotherhood, and I compare it to this suffers horribly. I think a lot of it comes from things you wouldn't just immediately recognize. Geez, was that the last things, last collectible in the city as far as treasure chests? No, it says there's more, so I may have to see if I can find a bookstore, but I don't even know if you can find a bookstore in here. I guess you can. There's one, so we should go and purchase everything and then turn it off. The thing is the people. The thing is simple things like trees and elements being placed, the variety of things, the color palette of things in the background on the walls. In this area particularly, it's kind of obvious that everything here is brown, and these buildings are supposedly just carved out, which that doesn't fully make sense. This is a time in which blasting would have happened, and you would have blown up places and built things with wood. Still, you wouldn't have built the buildings. Biblioteca was... Ooh. Wait a minute, how do I, like, not have enough money? Explain that one to me, game. Well, each one of these books are incredibly expensive.
A pleasure doing business.
And apparently they are 10 times more expensive than they might be at the end of the game. The blackness in this menu compared to the clean white menu that you would have in Brotherhood makes this suffer horribly when you're in the menu function. The color palette on like these people is boring. Even in the major city, I kind of expected or would have liked to see more brighter shades of colors, like just more variety. You're talking Constantinople, a land known for bright inks and dyes that you could have done a lot more gold, you could have done a lot more kind of everything, and they just don't. So as far as apothecary supplies, we are good.
Next time.
So I can turn off on this tiny little map if I can figure out how to do it. Interacting with this map has never worked quite right. I'm not sure they ever really got that to work well though, if we're just gonna be honest. Turn off the black markets and we'll come back and see these things are just labeled as Constantinople, so you can just turn on or off all of these. Doesn't even matter. Turn all of these on and off. Doesn't matter. The thing that I wanted to turn off was bomb crafting, so that gives us a better perspective of where we're going and what we're doing. Our main mission is to walk around here in Eagle Vision and find out who the bad guys are, because we're in this oddly programmed sequence that it's just feels like it's going to be sequence after sequence, and there is no free play element to this area. Honestly, it feels like this section of gameplay was here because of poor management. In Brotherhood, you have a similar issue where the final boss fight is in this is in the Pope's Saint Sebastian Castle? Is that what it was called? Clearly I'm not that knowledgeable. Like, it's there was a north part of the map in Brotherhood you could never really access, or you could never really access it in total. You could get in some missions slightly halfway towards it, and yeah, we'll switch our outfit clothing, but it won't even affect our skin that we're on right now. And like, I don't really have the money or need to buy more of the pouches, so that means now we don't need the tailor on. I'm gonna try to awkwardly walk through this area without the Eagle Vision on and just do some cleanup work before we start the mission. Let's see, can we walk this way and not trigger anything? I guess we can, as long as I don't accidentally click the left stick. I feel like the puppeting system is not quite right, and that there's no money in here. How can I be so low on money? That doesn't make any sense at all, because we even accidentally left the game running, and I'm still low on money.
But I stopped drinking a month ago. Why am I still seeing things?
Somebody didn't like that I was higher. The concept of getting yelled at because you're too high gets thrown out the window when you're in a city that's so multi-tiered that you can accidentally walk from one area to the other, and I didn't realize that what was a platform before is now considered an off-limits height. Yeah, and there's some problems here. Like, here's a great example. Why is there a climbable area right under a stealth thing? Yeah, why is this hand animating through that? Yeah, there's major things that are just not climbable. And even when you see something built out of wood, it's a very dull color wood that I feel they could have improved on. If they're going for some kind of realism, I mean, why are you still going with realism in things that don't matter? Still can't afford this? Wow. Still can't afford this. Well, I suppose the good news is there's just a couple of more weapons. There's clearly too much in this game. Yeah, I would have taken this entire section and either directly connected it to the rest of the map or left it on the cutting room floor. I would have hoped, if I was a manager of a video game, which I mean this certainly is just revisionism here, and a person who's not really qualified to be a manager of a video game talking out of turn, I would have hoped that I could have had the vision to see we don't need this secondary section. Nothing here is going to ever work. We should have just polished the other city. We already have in the other city the arsenal area that opens up and looks like a pretty nice play area. So why not have that be the final play area? Like, instead, oh, it seems like I might be able to sneak my way up here. So here's our final animatus. All of that happens, and where's the treasure chest?
Those kids won't throw on the road anymore. I like the way you watch it.
Says the treasure chest is actually down here. So I've irritated somebody. We've got just a couple of... Alright, well... You can see how their actions when they heal themselves is really just a... just a movement of the arm to the mouth as if he is drinking something. So we didn't get any achievement there with the chests, and that's because there's one more chest over here. Alright. And when we kill these guys and pick things up off of them, it's still not a significant amount of money. I feel like that issue could have easily been fixed. Like, so rarely is somebody gonna even bother to search a body that there should be an engine that is saying, well, this guy at this point in the game on this level should have this much money. And it doesn't even have to be that complicated. You just look at the total sync percentage or the memory you're in, you apply that to what percentage of the memory. So if you're on the last level, you then should be at 100% of whatever money is left that's needed in the game. And in that way, there would even be like a speedrun strategy where if you've speed ran the entire game and never purchased anything, and then after that point killed one guard and searched that one guard, it would just hand you the amount of money that you would need to purchase everything that's left in all the stores. For most players, that would never be the scenario. It would be more of a subtle interaction like that. Maybe you break it down and you limit it so that you can search a body and you get no more than, let's say, 1,000 gold at the end of the game, and the enemies just get richer and richer. I guess I have to play, because right now I think the last chest is up there. So we're following people that we're trying to find out, I guess, who are the spies. Alright, target located. Confront the spy. That seemed really easy. Let's see. Let's go beat up the lady. Or were we supposed to just chase her?
Not so close, Adi Herif.
Easy now. Tarek sent me.
Wait a minute.
Only you?
It's not Desmond's voice.
I am enough. Where are your men?
Captured by Byzantines over a week ago.
We're gonna have to change the outfit.
I was just to look like a slave and managed to escape. But the others? Are you a capable fighter?
I like to think so.
Well, when you are certain, come find me.
And boy, does Desmond not work well there. See, the level is giving me 1,000. 1,000 gold. It says I'm on the right level. Alright, we've got to change this outfit. That is not acceptable. Outfit, Desmond, remove, please. It was kind of fun playing as Desmond for a second, but in almost every instance he doesn't look good. However, having Ezio, old man Ezio here, as your hidden, with his hair and head covered up, they're kind of hiding some features that don't need to be hidden, that they should have animated that. Yeah, but to get back to what I was saying, I would cut this whole final section, set the final fight. Alright, there's another 30,000 in the bank. We'll collect that. I set this whole final fight in the arsenal area. I think you could easily have as many missions that are in this area, in the arsenal area, or just running around the whole city. There's a really good argument to make that your final missions in any game of an Assassin's Creed or open world game should have you running around the entire open world, just making sure you make a nice crisscross. See, this system here too, like, people barely are gonna loot boxes, and they're barely gonna loot corpses, and they doubled up on that, with really not giving any motivation for the player to do that, other than if you don't loot these boxes, then you'll inherently not have enough money to buy all of the ridiculous numbers of weapons that are available for purchase in the game. It seems like there might be an entirely subterranean level, or not. Like, every time I get further away from this loot chest, it tells me it's on the same level, according to how I understand the map. But when you get closer, it gets dimmed, which implies to me that it's up there. And let's see. The only way to get up here is this way, I believe. I think it's very important also to point out that the end of that level was really, really pathetically boring. Many of these levels have been. You use your eagle senses to find the one lady who says all of the other spies that were working with the Assassin's Guild had been killed, but they dressed her up like a slave, and that saved her life. Here it is. No achievement for that either, so that implies to me that there probably is some chest. Yeah, this blackness. Man, fix this blackness. I would have cut out the whole section of the game. Yes, no, 15 of 15, 106 out of 106. Apparently getting all the chests gets you literally nothing in this game. No Uplay achievement, no no outfit.
Another mercenary.
Nothing. Yeah, so when I loot here, I shouldn't be getting 36. I should be getting at least 1,000. We are at the end of the game. If a player needs to loot, they need to be getting a lot of gold. The game knows I need to be getting a lot of gold because it can do a very simple calculation every time I exit a store. It can say what did he purchase and what's left to purchase, and have a single variable on everything that's available to purchase from every shop. Alright. Not enough money to buy this. Not enough money to buy this. Not enough money to buy this. The only way I see myself collecting all of these is if I leave the game.
No matter. Have a good day, Kyrios.
Like just standing in front of the bank, standing there for 80 minutes, collecting everything out of that point, and then coming back another 80 minutes and doing it maybe a second time. I seriously doubt there are going to be 80 more minutes of gameplay. There might be. I mean, it probably is, for as slow as this game has been. Here's another thing on colors. Just look at these outfits. All very muted, all the exact same fashion design. I mean, you could have just changed the color a little bit. And I know all of this is being randomly picked, but put a little more intelligence in it. Look at these three guys, for instance. It's the exact same face model. Can you not label some of this stuff and run a better engine when randomly picking people? I think you could. I'm pretty sure on a modern game you could. Let's see what this mission is.
Did you happen to see that? We caught another of the Sultan's spies lurking about. A woman this time, disguised as a harlot of low birth.
Sending his harem girls now, eh? It seems the Sultan is running out of skilled fighters. Where
So
did you
these
take
are
her?
supposed to be
Inside,
Templar
into the
run
prisons.
enemies
Mission won't
to the
last long.
Sultan.
Not with Shakulu in charge.
So the spy DEADLIER that we just met, and clearly there should have been 3 to 5 missions at least before we got to know her, before she got kidnapped, so we'd have some skin in this game. Has been kidnapped and we have to break her out. It's pretty ridiculous. Why not the guy who we've been dealing with the whole time? Him getting caught and imprisoned? he would have been a much better candidate for that than a random spy character. Or perhaps you're one of the many assassins that you brought up to level Master Assassin at this point, which it could have been the first Master Assassin that you had to bring up, because I'm pretty sure you were required by the story to do that.
How soon before my soldiers are trained to use those guns?
A few weeks at most.
So this guy on the
Mercenaries
left.
will know I have betrayed them by now. But do they have the resources for retribution?
Doubtful. The Sultan's battle with Selim commands most of their attention.
So the guy on the left is a Templar.
What the
The guy
hell
on
is
the
that
right
smell?
might be.
Apologies, Manuel. Some of these Ottoman prisoners are so fragile.
Shakuru, try to
You don't even
moderate
see
your
this guy's face.
I know the Sultan humiliated your people, but there is no need to spit on men who are beneath us.
You take the woman from the prison and bring her to the chapel.
Shakulu, I don't have the key.
Find it!
Who has the key? You?
I think Nicholas has it. He's on leave in the market.
Christemu, I'd like to
Go
run
to the
that
market
man
and
through
find the
with a
key holder.
spear.
The prisoner holding the key. So I was supposed to jump up around the edge there. It's kind of awkward here. No real marking that this is the beginning of the restricted area. Like, now people don't care. It's the exact same mission we just did. Locate the guard with the key. Which, here's the guy's pathways. So it's one of these guys. So they're watching a fight. So all I have to do is bump into this guy and pickpocket him. Clearly that's what they wanted you to do, even though they said by any means necessary, as if, well, I mean, you could certainly have gone and assassinated him in that crowd, but that wouldn't have benefited you in any way. Let's see. Well, there's my full synchronization. Failed. I forgot about that. Let's see, how many guards can we get here? Like, trying to counter this guy. Let's see if we can get another kill. I don't like to jump up step. So I guess if there are no witnesses, nothing. What was that? 10 guards easily taken care of. Not a thought for a second that I would fail in that fight. Because the game gave us the Master Assassin armor, whether that was a glitch or not, it makes fights ridiculously easy. Fights have always been ridiculously easy in this. I guess that's alright. I kind of prefer that over Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That's the only thing this game really did better, and maybe that's where 90% of their budget went, was to just improve the fight game mechanic so that you aren't getting into long, boring fights. However, they needed to do something more if they were going to release a new game. If they had instead made a director's cut of Brotherhood, and that would have worked. So now we've got her name and information in the database, as if the only story you're ever going to get is if you read the database, which that's just a bad way of presenting your story.
I'll kill him.
Like, I'm okay with unimportant, boring backstory in books. Although personally, I've stopped reading books and video games, or in databases or in menu things. But that needs to be the supplemental information, not the main information. Like, let's just take a moment and look. Like, we know nothing about her. Recent entries, Delaria. A Turkish woman born from Topkapi harem, Delaria was raised from birth to honor the Sultan and his family and trained to desire nothing more than a fine husband and a lofty station in life. The strict set of boundaries did not pleasure or amuse her, however, and she quickly gained a reputation as an ill-mannered and brazen upstart. This suited her just fine, as did a janissary named Tarek Borelli, who quite admired her boldness. Taken by her charms, Tarek eventually arranged for her release to work as an envoy for the janissaries, half out of kindness and half hoping this would win Delaria's affection. It did not, and became a source of much grief for Tarek in his later years. Like, this is all story that clearly should have been in the main game. Let's see, like, here's the sons of Altair, just barely mentioned on. Here's the wife of Altair, barely mentioned. Here's Abbas, the main bad guy in the Altair memories. And that's the problem, too, is why are we not just back in Mycef, the assassin's main city? Why not expand on that and say that there's, in that city, it got bigger, it got larger, things got changed around. There was more on the other side. I mean, it's a really oddly designed city with the castle of the assassins backing up to a cliffway and the gate leading towards a path. But you know, you could have probably carved some buildings out on the cliffway and just changed things and not underused Mycef in favor of using this, which is just not finished and not visually appealing. Whatever this secret city is called, I don't even remember the name. Yep. It's really example after example of underused elements or under-polished elements. It goes between the two pretty easily. Suppose I could have, like, where are we going? I totally missed the opportunity to walk over there, but whatever. If I go to the blacksmith, I'll probably only be able to purchase 3 out of the 4 remaining things. Over here we can see there's a fight happening, or maybe not a fight, just a crowd has gathered. Can I even walk? Like, they're standing here on what looks like might be an execution ground or something. Almost certainly I'm going to be standing on that cross and jumping down to kill somebody in the middle of a speech. One kind of assumes that that's what's about to happen.
You do not cooperate very well.
Yeah, now the bad
I'm here
guys
to
show up.
rescue my men, not make friends. Right there.
What's
That
funny
armor is too thick for bullets. I will have to get in close.
is
Jonas.
she
We have to help him.
could have been a potential mother too. Like, they've terribly foreshadowed this, but there has to be somebody that Ezio sleeps with, that their DNA goes from Ezio the male into the baby that will be the great ancestor of Desmond. That's the only way that this genetic DNA, if genetic DNA is to make any sense at all, which it really doesn't. And it's also very possible you could have explained all of this away by the fact that at the end of Brotherhood, the game before this, Desmond touched an apple, and so the apple could have messed with his brain and showed him more memories. That would have been actually a great thing to introduce, because then the concept of the ancient alien technologies of the apples giving people more memories expands things, much like how the Mycef keys that we've been seeing has allowed Ezio to see memories that he shouldn't have been able to see, which the Mycef keys, by the way, to my knowledge, never used again in the entire series. Like, they just threw away this game, as they did a lot of games and a lot of concepts. So, sounds like going in without raising a stink. Which, gotta be careful not to accidentally jump right into the line of sight. There's a treasure chest, but we don't need it. He didn't hear me at all. And now we kill the guy who probably should have been the main bad guy in the whole game. Simply, easily.
Men who make a fetish out of murder deserve no pity.
Didn't quite kill him in his old age. Did he hit him with a poison that time? Wow. And the game just crashed. Like, good old Assassin's Creed. The idea, as we're relaunching here, is not terrible. To have it become this thing where the potential as Templars have figured out a way that hidden blades won't work on them, maybe through some ancient alien technology that they're just a little bit healthier, poison wouldn't work on them, anything like that. If they did introduce that, I would have hoped that they would have introduced a concept like that later in the timeline, like modern times. But then that also kind of just changes everything. Let me just double check and make sure I'm recording now. Yes, I am. And if this starts crashing a lot, I may have to go back and turn my computer to effectively a single core processor. And I think I am, because it crashed again immediately. Alright, well, let's launch it again. So we're gonna have to go into a slideshow. Like, I just closed the task manager too. It's not like I specifically have the task manager running, because this is certainly not something you normally would have. Go to details. When you right click the process in the task manager, set affinity, turn off all CPUs, put it on just CPU 0, so as if my computer was a single core processor. This will be interesting to see see how the menu handles something like this. If the menu itself is slow and turns into a slideshow. Now if it crashes here, I don't know what to do. No, it didn't really change it too much. Alright. So we want to pull out a sword and kill these guys. Now when you're fighting, if you just use the shield, you don't do anything more. And see, this guy's gonna take a couple of hits, which is unique. Now, it feels like you shouldn't. Yeah, he's gonna take 3 hits. It feels like you shouldn't fight this guy as the final boss because perhaps it's the prince.
Can you walk?
The rifles you brought, they should be destroyed.
Most of them don't actually work. But the gunpowder is real. We could not fake that.
Bene. Keep out of sight until you hear the explosions. Then you run.
Explosions? If you do that, all hell will break loose. You'll panic the entire city.
See, even this
I am counting
engine
on it.
cutscene.
And then what?
Then I find Manuel Paleologos.
So now the Templar guy feels like he should have been the main bad guy, or at least yet another secondary person. This is kind of very similar to Assassin's Creed. Now we have a multiplayer bonus for no reason. So you can kind of see this is a slideshow on one CPU, which is to say something kind of sad about the progress of video games, because on one processor, one core, I would like my modern PC to be able to run this game, which is several years old. Let's see, it came out in 2011, November 29th is when it was released on Steam. I would prefer for that game, this game to run better than ever, even on a single core. But the speed of single cores just don't go up as high as, like, it looks like you could actually climb up all the way there to the top. I've obviously, in case you're wondering, I went and turned it back up to the full amount of cores that I have, and that's why the slideshow has ended. Hopefully we don't have to do that a third time.
Come, be here, and you seem a likely patient.
Let's see. I could buy some more supplies, I suppose. There's no real reason not to.
Come back and see me if the arm turns black.
And there's a bomb. Did the map change and put everything back when it crashed? Yeah, it did, didn't it? Well, let's not deal with that. So there's more money in the bank, and we can't, I think, really afford any more of the books. So maybe I could get all the weapons, but not all the books. So potentially one mission directly to find Manuel and kill him. Maybe 2 missions. If they really stretch it, maybe they could do 3 missions. But after that point, you're done.
See you next time.
The thing about Assassin's Creed 1 that was never even attempted to be recaptured, and they're kind of trying to do it here but not really, is that there was 6 to yeah, like 6 enemies that you were introduced to at the very beginning of every memory sequence. They were shown to be highly ideological people. They had reasons to be Templars. Arguably, they're not the first Templars ever. There might be Templars in Assassin's Creed Origins. I would kind of assume that there are, but there might not, I guess. And each of those highly ideological people in Assassin's Creed 1, though, gave you very good reasons to hate them, did very seemingly evil things. Each of them had some form of justification that might even, some people might even agree with. Like the doctor is a great example where you see him and he orders a mental patient's legs be broken so he can't escape, but the doctor is actually experimenting on these people to find cures to save more people, so it's at least good intention. Most of the people in all the other Assassin's Creed games are just mustache twirling bad guys. They have no reason to do anything whatsoever other than they want to take over a land, take control for themselves. That's all that Abstergo is and has ever been. I guess that's
Cigar! This is gunpowder, not millet! I got it!
So he's gonna go start an explosion from this point. So we're gonna have to climb this whole area again, not take any damage. Find a way into the Templars' weapon depot. And even if we do find that the prince actually is a Templar and he's been using you, there will be a slight feeling of betrayal that Ezio should have, and the player should have, if they had kind of foreshadowed it. I would argue that if you want the player to feel betrayed by the prince, if he does turn out to be a Templar and he was playing Ezio this whole time for his own benefits, if you want that to be the case, you had to have played the prince completely friendly and not shown any of the actions or consequences for Ezio's actions that might have benefited the prince. As soon as we saw that the prince benefited from the leader of the Janissary being killed in a way that was slightly unexpected, the cat was let out of the bag. Let's see. So we've got some guys standing here. Let's see.
That one. Get it! Hurry!
Oh, this is not working. Apparently I had the wrong kind of bomb. Well, that kind of sucks. I was hoping to take a little bit more time there and throw in a nice explosive bomb in that group. There's nothing else here. In a normal game you'd expect that there'd be something hanging over their head you could shoot or break, or something along that line. Here we just have a gated off cannons with some non-gated off cannons. We could go down. Are we going down lower or higher? Here you just have more gated off sections. I suppose as far as level gating and area gating, except for the arsenal, the rest of this game is very open. Can you just die? Can you just die, you people? I must have made bombs that had really small areas of effect, or maybe all the bombs have really small areas of effect? Well, like, something clearly feels wrong about how the bombs are working. And I think I'm like totally out of bombs now, so I could try a smoke decoy bomb. There's nothing to find in here. Everything is still this incredibly boring gray palette. I mean, you don't need 50 shades of brown. I mean, yeah, it's not gray, it's brown for the most part. There's a little gray. You don't need 50 shades of gray either, but that's something completely different. And it's just a regular chest, nothing special. And there's just some... We're gonna use the explosive to destroy gunpowder. And these cutscenes, when you kill people, are cool, I suppose. But they don't fully do what I'd like. Trying to do a hook and run, but I guess I can't.
There! Don't lose him again!
There you go, let's throw you off the edge. There you are. And over here.
What do you think he's from?
It's just more people.
Looks like another long one, eh?
Here, we'll just get into a nice combo. We haven't even cared or looked at any of the challenges. Like, we're gonna be done with this game, I'm pretty sure. Like, one of the things about the countering is I never really got an idea if you're supposed to time it right and hold the right trigger and hit them, or wow, I almost died there. Or if you're supposed to do something different. I guess these are the explosives. Pretty awfully designed area, honestly. It's just kind of up and down for no reason. Boring. There's no secrets even bothered to be placed in this area at all. No chests, no animus data fragments. Just throw a grenade like we blew up the lantern and lighthouse. See, all of these memories just go right into each other.
Get out of my way!
For the most part. Well, it's half of them, dudes. A couple of them, dude.
Soldiers, compose yourselves. Do not give in to fear. We are the true shepherds of Constantinople. We are the lords of this land.
You're not even in Constantinople.
Rydo, stand fast. Do not let anyone break it. Stop that man! Coming down!
Do not take any damage. The last of the Ploggy. Balwagi is trying to calm the people in the chaos. Alright. So, catch him. So we've seen these races before. And they're telling me to reduce distance to the target. I don't know if the idea here is that he is running around in an enclosed space, or if the idea
Stop and think for a moment. Think about the lives you have
that he was following a specific path.
you have sown here.
Alright. I stopped and thought for a moment. And hey, come on, let me climb up. And yeah, we knew we were coming back to this area. And I missed full sync by one hit. Somebody shot me from a distance. Which that would have sucked.
You take advantage of a poor and displaced people, using us to further your own vain quest.
It's probably true.
But we fight for dignity, assassin. We fight to restore peace to this troubled land.
Templars are always quick to talk of peace, but very slow to concede power.
Because power begets peace, Flaka. It cannot happen in reverse. These people would drown without a firm hand to lift them up and keep them in line.
This is good
There
backstory.
he is, the monster I came to
But
kill.
It's really late in the game.
My next cut will be your last.
So all I had to do is kick him, and then I could stab him right through.
I should have been Constantine's successor.
They should have just taken all
So
the
many
half the
plans.
blood out of this game.
Your dream dies with you, Manuel. Your empire is
Like-
gone.
It's such a stupid add-on.
I am not the only one with this vision, assassin. The dream of our order is universal. Ottoman, Byzantine. These are only labels. Costumes and facades. Beneath these trappings, all Templars are part of the same family.
Enough prattling. I am here for the Masyav key.
Then take it. Take it. Seek your fortune. See if you get within 100 leagues of that library before one of us finishes you off.
So, like, he should have been introduced in the first memory. This guy, he should have been the main bad guy
of
the
the
whole time.
Logi. I should not have put him in charge of our Masyaf expedition. He was an arrogant man. Impossible to keep in line.
You disappoint me, Ahmed. Why the Templars?
Because I am tired of all of these pointless blood feuds.
So the
That pit
prince
father against son,
actually is the good
brother
guy.
against brother. To achieve true peace, mankind must think and move as one body.
The guy who was
with
going to be
one
Sultan
mastermind. The secrets
was
in the
working
Grand
with the
Temple will give
Templars
us just that.
for
And
kind of no reason.
Altair will lead us there.
Delusions. Altair's secrets are not for you.
I am not interested in arguing, Ezio. I am here for the Masyaf keys.
Keys? Are there more than this one?
So I have heard. Perhaps I should ask
He's lying
someone
there.
who knows better. Sofia Sarto. Is that her name?
She knows nothing. Leave her be.
We shall see.
I will kill you if you touch her.
I know you'll try.
So, Templars are now led by Prince Ahmet, who was going to be the Sultan anyways, and yet he got in with the Templars even though, I mean, I guess it's possible he became a Templar before he was announced by the Sultan to be the successor. That is possible. And we're just thrown into another memory. And we're gonna just pause here. DNA wise, where are we? Sequence 7 Underworld. Escape is where we are. There's one more memory. So they didn't even go for the twist. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for the twist to be that both the potential people who would have been in charge of who both of the princes are Templars. And I guess if you had any historical knowledge of these people, then you probably know what happens anyways, so it's only a twist for people who don't have historical knowledge of the Constantine history, assuming any of this is following the storyline. It's kind of like how they put America Vespucci and Marco Polo in the game. They just slightly reference things and don't fully admit to anything. We had already gotten all the Assassin's Guild done. It seriously doesn't feel like we've done anything else. In a weird way, I think we should have gotten the kill 3 enemies dazed by a single smoke bomb before it dissipates achievement, but that wouldn't have even well, challenged. That wouldn't have even helped. The thing I'm trying to see is like bomb capacity upgrade and extra bomb ingredients. Yeah, there's no way to increase the area of effect on a bomb or the duration of a bomb. That would have been cool. Like, if you were gonna make a full Assassin's Creed game where you were just doing bombs, that would have made sense. But that's not the case here. I'm in a terrible position, certainly, to leave the game running. So we're probably gonna end this game with not collecting everything. I'll look at the Uplay achievements on the Uplay app and see if that gives me any Uplay bucks for getting those achievements, because only some of the usually what it is the storyline achievements at the end of the game give you the Uplay bucks, and the actual gameplay achievements that not every player will actually achieve are just pointless Uplay achievements, which and I know they're not called Uplay bugs, but that's what I'm going to call them. It seems we're going to wrap up this story pretty quickly in the next recording. We may not even go an hour, and then we'll be done. And I think people probably know that what I'm feeling here is I'm not really having the greatest of time with this game. It's just too much of the same, and worse than Brotherhood. Arguably, the way to play this would be to potentially maybe just skip Assassin's Creed 2, play Assassin's Creed 1 for the historical value, skip Assassin's Creed 2, play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, skip 3 and Revelations, play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, skip Unity, skip everything else after Black Flag right up into Assassin's Creed Origins. Maybe play some of the side games. That, in 2018, as I'm looking back retrospectively, that might be the real order. And that might have been the better re-release or bundle to sell, is to have people say, here's the good ones we think about. Ideally, I'd like Ubisoft to take some of the good content and story and break it down into something more manageable. The entire Ezio trilogy could easily be merged into one game that has a lot of the fluff cut out, all of this economic stuff. Fun enough to do as memories So if you had 7 actual missions to go repair 7 specific shops, or in one mission you were handed enough money to go repair 10 of the same blacksmiths in an area, that would be enough of the economic game. We don't need to do any more of that. Anyways, we're going long. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me, give me a game on Steam. That helps out. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.